Nana from nanacampana.com, and I'm here to showcase the Bind It All. I have a lot of customers or a lot of people that come to me and ask me about my mini books. I kind of became totally in love and infatuated with making my own little books. So the way that I get them done is by using the Zutter, okay, the Bind It All, and this is the Cutie Patootie machine. I always say that this is the only machine you can convince your husband to purchase for you, because literally it wasn't created for scrapbooking. It was created by a man to just bind his own portfolios, to bind his own calendars, to basically make anything and everything himself instead of having to go to Office Max and get it done. So ladies, definitely go to your man and tell him, hey, I need this machine. There's very important things that you need to know about the machine. Let's start off with how do you balance your machine. The machine was made very small on purpose so that you would be able to carry it anywhere, okay? But it has this little piece, I guess, that you can pull out, and it is meant for you to be able to balance yourself as you pull the lever down, okay? The machine also has these rectangles that are in the front. These are wonderful because these let you know where the blades are located, okay? So you basically have about a ½ inch on each side that's protected from being cut. And I particularly love that because I make books like this one where I have about ½ an inch that I leave off. I just think that the books look a lot more professional that way. So the machine allows you to do that by making sure that your paper is protected against those edges. Okay? The machine also has these rectangles that are in the front. These are wonderful because these let you know where the blades are located. Okay? So you basically have about a ½ inch on each side that's protected from being cut. Okay? Now, the other beautiful thing about the machine is that it's not only used to make the little holes, it's also used to actually close the wires. The wires come in all sorts of shapes. In all sorts of colors and in all sorts of sizes, okay? So here we have a pink one, here we have a silver one, we have black, we have blue. Basically, there's about 7 or 8 different colors, and there's about 10 different sizes that it comes in. I personally use a lot of the 3/4 of an inch or the inch, just because I work with a lot of mixed media books, okay? Now let's talk about the different materials that it will go through. It will go through thin metal. It goes through chipboard, cardboard, basically anything that goes in or fits in that little hole, it'll go right through it. And what I do tell the ladies though is that it's important that they realize that depending on their strength, they'll be able to cut through large layers of paper. Let's say that you want to cut 20 pieces of paper and they fit through there. Yeah, the machine will do it, but it'll take a lot more strength for you to be able to do that. But Zutter, or the Bind It All people, like I call them, have all these wonderful materials that are great. Like, for example, they have the clipboard material. The clipboard material is a lot more difficult for you to cut, but it's a great tool if you're going to make a notebook. In the back of that, you would want to put some clipboard material. So let's start using the machine. The first thing I wanted to show you is acrylic. It will go right through acrylic, but it's very important that you leave the little paper, like the little film. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little film. That little film is important that you leave it as you cut, okay? So the way you use the machine. It has these settings, A, B, C, and D. And if you're working on your cover, it tells you to put it on C. So normally, what I do is I push that black plastic all the way to the end, and I come back one. It's a lot easier for me to just think of that way, okay? And I make sure that I put my acrylic all the way against that black plastic that now is protecting my paper to slide over. I make sure that my balance is out, and I literally just pull the lever down, okay? And you get perfect little 6 rectangles. What I noticed though, a lot of women get to this and they're like, how do I continue? What do I do? And the best way of doing that is, I don't know if you can notice, but the second to last, yes, the second to last little rectangle is going to be key when you're trying to continue making little holes. But in this case, because I want to also protect this ½ inch, what I'm going to do is, I am going to align the edge with the edge of the machine, like so, okay? And then I'm going to look for one of the little holes, if I can even see what I'm doing, right there. Now, this black plastic, and I'm going to actually show you this zoomed in. This black plastic has a little rectangle that a lot of people don't even know is there. A lot of women own this machine and have no idea this is there. And this is key, because you are going to put your rectangle, the cut rectangle, inside that plastic, okay? And I once again hold my material and push the paper, the lever down. Okay, I make sure that I pull the black plastic out, and here I have a full set of rectangles. Okay, now I wanted to show you, since we talked about continuing, this wonderful paper is from Michaels. I absolutely love it. I love that the glitter does not come off. But I wanted to show you how you do continuous. In this case, you don't have to align it with the end. Okay, so again, we start, we put it to C. The very first one, I want to protect that 1/2 inch. I align it all the way to the end, push down, and now I'm going to look for my second to last hole. Okay, so I look for my second to last hole, like so. I like to sing. Do it there, goes in, okay, hold it. Okay. Now, let me show you an error that a lot of people do. Sometimes you forget to put it in the second to last hole, and instead you put it on the last hole. And when you do that, a lot of women freak during my classes because they end up with a hole that is not cut. So you can see, they freak out because they're like, oh my gosh, the wire is not going to be able to fit through there. And the way you fix that is you make sure that that piece is anywhere where it could be cut. You find whatever hole is closer to the rectangle in the plastic, and you push your way down. Okay? And because the machine is aligned and made up so that you would be able to get a continuous flow, you have absolutely no problems making that one little hole. Now we just got to the end, and because we got to the end again, I want to make sure I protect that 1/2 inch. So I align it with the edge of the machine, and I push my way through. Okay. And there we go. We did a whole 12-inch little continuous cutting. Okay. Now, let's continue with the different materials. In the case of this little tag, the space is very limited, right? That's why these rectangles are very useful, okay? Because it lets you know where it's going to be cut, and you want to make sure that whatever it is you put in there is not aligned in a 1/2 hole, okay? So, I make sure that it's not aligned in a 1/2 hole, and after I have it properly suited, I can cut through that. Now this is really hard chipboard, okay? And again, this machine does wonders with cutting really hard chipboard. I also wanted to show you that it cuts right through fabric, okay? In this case, this is canvas. The best way it'll cut through fabric is if it's lined with a tiny piece of chipboard or some type of wood, okay? So in this case, I'm going to protect again the edges. I start with I go all the way back and I pull one out. Okay, so it's protected right about there. Hold it down. All the way. And it went right through. Okay? And again, I want to protect my 1/2 inch on this corner, so I'm going to align it with the edge over here. And I'm going to look for that rectangle. It should be around there. Okay, make sure I hold it down. Voila! It went right through that canvas. Okay? And so, we did acrylic, we did chipboard, let's do some corrugated board. Okay? Corrugated board could be complicated only because it can bend as you're holding your project up. So I always suggest that when you're working with a corrugated board, that you don't push down hard on the project on the top, right? But that instead you slightly hold it on the side and then you go and push down so you can get your little holes. Okay? Once again, I want to protect that little 1/2 inch. I put it flush with the machine. I find my rectangle on this side, which is right about there, and I push all the way in. Okay? And there we go. We have it. Now, I wanted to actually complete a project for you today, and this is what we're going to do. The Dream Cuts is the machine that we talked about earlier, or the last video, and in that machine we cut the glitter paper into 3 strips of 12 by 4. Okay? Then I put it through the back, and I cut a strip of a 4 by 6. Okay? And I know you've all seen those cute little notebooks that are all glittery, right? Well, you can make your own now that Michael sells these, because after you cut your paper, you just cut yourself some pages, and you cut yourself some chipboard, okay? And that will be the back. So, let's say that I wanted to do a regular notebook. Again, we start all the way at the end, put it like so. Okay, and I want to protect my edge again, put it flush, find a rectangle nearby. Okay, so there I go. I have my cover done. My pages, instead of having to do all of them one by one, I can just insert as many pages as I can handle. And you know what? I personally think that this might be a lot for me. So I'm going to cut it in half. Okay? I know it's more work, but I want to save my arm. Hold it like this. Okay, we protect that edge again. Find that rectangle, right about there. Okay, and we have to repeat the process because we have a whole lot more pages. We don't want to make a tiny note. Right there. And we repeat from this side. Up there. Okay. Finally, we repeat the same process, and I know that it becomes a little bit repetitive, but you know what? Practice makes perfect, and you want to make your books perfect. There. And on this side as well. Okay? Now, let's learn how to bind. I know by now you're like, oh, hold on. Okay? In order for you to get the back of your book, or basically the closure of your little book inside your book, you have to grab the back part, or your back cover, and flip it up to the front. Okay? When you do that, you're going to flip the book again, and you're going to have your pages here. In this case, I need to count how many holes I have in order for me to know how much wire to use. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I use 10. Now, because I'm using pink, I have to use pink little wire, and I'm going to cut 10 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you're all clapping because I know how to count. Okay? And I use the Zutter's wire cutter to cut that. Okay? Now, let me repeat that because in case you didn't get it. You want to make sure that you grab your back cover, you flip it up to the front as if it was a book, and then you flip the book back so your pages are on the front or on top. You're going to insert the tiny legs into your project, making sure that you do not miss any pages, okay? And this is what you should have, okay? Now, it's important that you realize that there's two sets of legs. There's the skinny legs, and then there's the fat legs. And I know we don't like fat legs, but for this case, it's important that you realize which one's which, okay? We have the skinny legs. The skinny legs, when you place them on top in the machine to be bound, you need to make sure that they're always looking at the word Zutter, okay? You also need to imagine as if the wire is a little spider, and it needs to be standing at all times, okay? If for whatever reason it turns this way and you try to close your book, it won't close properly. If it turns the other way, the same thing. So at all times, when it's inside the machine to bind, it's very, very important that you leave it totally straight, okay, as if it was a little spider. Now, the other thing that you need to realize is this has different measurements, okay? You do not need different machines for different size wires. I am working with a 3/4 inch wire, which basically means that I can get my little guide that has all the different sizes, and I can make sure that it's in the right position, okay? I use my guide, and I insert it into the space that's provided. Now, it should be tight, but not tight enough that it won't move, okay? So, after I make sure that it's properly adjusted, again, I stand my spider inside the machine with the skinny legs looking at the word Zutter, okay? So this is what it should look, okay? At all times, that spider needs to be standing and the skinny legs need to be looking at the word Zutter. And the procedure of closing them is exactly the same. You're going to pull your lever as if you were making the little holes, okay? And it begins to close out your little notebook. Okay, we repeat the process. Make sure that it's standing. We close it all the way down. And now that closure is going to be in the inside of your notebook. And there you go. There you have your beautiful little notebook, okay? And you should always check your wires. They should look totally circular when you do it, okay? Well, thank you so much for your time. We just created a beautiful little notebook. You saved yourself a whole lot of money. So if you have any questions, make sure you email me at mypapertreehouse@gmail.com or check out my website, nadacampana.com. Thank you very much. Have a lovely, lovely day.